There are 9 unspoken truths about what happens to your career as you age. When you encounter them depends on the industry you're in, the role you're in, and your company. How you encounter them depends upon you. If you're in Gen X, Y, or Z, you might think that age-related work problems won't happen to you. I thought that too back in the day. Here are the 9 truths. Studies have shown that having a positive outlook in life has multiple benefits, sometimes surprising benefits. Negative people tend to have bad things happen more frequently to them than do positive people. One hypothesis that I read is that looking on the bad side of things leads to expecting bad things to happen, which leads you to be a generally dour person, which affects your personal interactions, which affects what happens to you. I don't believe that all our reality is in our heads. Some people do, and I think that's crazy. Bad things do happen to good people. There's a world of other people out there, and some of them will negatively impact you. What happens to us is a function of our mental attitude and the hands that we are dealt. And of course, this is true for work problems, any kind of work problems. Liking your job or loving your job means you enjoy it. The days fly by. But that doesn't mean you let it swallow up your entire life. I'll talk about this in the next segment. If you don't like your job, or worse, if you hate your job, your mental attitude will magnify all of your problems with it, age-related or otherwise. Whether you realize it or not, you broadcast your attitude about your job. You've been doing it for years, so your personal network will be less effective. You already view your job negatively, or at least you're like, yeah, so-so, it's like it's an okay job. And so age problems will only magnify that. I'm not saying you should be a Pollyanna. I'm saying be positive about your job and like it. Here's the takeaway. If you don't like your job, find another one ASAP. Don't think about age-related issues in the future. Change your job now, because life is too short to put up with an uninspiring job. When, not if, age-related issues arise, you'll be in a much better position to work on them. Living to work is a phrase that means your self-worth is wrapped up, your identity is wrapped up in your job. Working to live is the opposite. It means you may love your job, you may like your job, you may give it all when you're there, but your personal life is separate and your self-worth isn't based entirely on your job. Some people say that these are just 2 sides of the same coin and neither one is better than the other. You read stuff like this on LinkedIn, bless their heart. Recruiters talk about this. It's okay to live to work, if that's what you want. I emphatically disagree. Living to work magnifies age-related problems at work by 1,000. You've given your life to your company and now you're being brushed aside, and that's going to hurt, maybe catastrophically so. You were never as valuable to your company as you thought you were. You were always replaceable, and now you're being replaced in slow motion. Hey, it's nothing personal, it's just business. Working to live, on the other hand, makes it easier to deal with problems because you're not emotionally vested, tied up, vulnerable to losing your job. And this is key. You can love your job a lot and have a work-to-live attitude. One is whether the job is enjoyable and it revs your motor. The other is whether your self-worth is tied up in it. Here's the takeaway. Start working to live today. If you think that you're in the living to work category, then make small changes incrementally over time. You're not going to change your outlook, all at once. Start cultivating outside interests, spend less time with work, less time talking about it, get other hobbies. Just start cultivating a healthier relationship with your job. You'll be better off in innumerable ways. The adverse relationship between your age and your occupation will begin gradually. You'll start noticing that your opinion has less sway than it used to have. You'll get fewer choice assignments. You'll get passed over for little things, and then you'll get passed over for bigger things. It's a weird, ugly feeling. I speak from experience. Look, everyone has days when things don't gel at work. Everyone loses battles at work sometimes. That's normal. What I'm talking about here, what I'm describing, is different. Things start going sideways for mysterious reasons. It continues to get worse over time, and it doesn't end. The takeaway is, after you hit 40, You must become more aware of what's going on in your office. It's a matter of your survival. You can call it putting your ear to the ground, reading the tea leaves, choose your favorite phrase. And you should cultivate a trusted network so you can calibrate what it is you're seeing on the job. Like asking Fred, is it me or was what happened in that meeting really weird? What do you think is going on? There isn't an evil company villain who rubs their hands with glee and says, yes, yes, let us now start committing ageism against Stephen. The reality will be a bouquet of superficially logical rationalizations. In my last employer, managers talked openly about an employee's career arc. If two people are performing about the same, the one with the better career arc is more valuable to the company. Makes sense, right? Well, the manager expects them to be more productive in the future than the other employee. The problem is career arc is too easily translated into which one is younger. Career arc is unmitigated bullshit. But it's perfectly logical to too many managers there, and the company's leadership allows it. The takeaway is to expect your adversary, to the extent that you have one, to be amorphous. It'll seem like a conspiracy, but it won't be a conspiracy. You won't be able to point at a specific individual and say, she started this. You may be surprised to learn that the people who start sliding you will be work friends. Maybe people you've worked with for some time and you've got a good relationship with them. They might even think they're doing you a favor. Hey, Ruth is in her 40s and I bet she'd like to start taking things a little slower these days. Let's give the team lead position to Amy. You want this to be an evil process. It makes it easier to fight it, but it's not. It is unfair and wrong, but most of the time it's not intentional. In fact, 99% of the time it's not intentional. The takeaway is prepare to feel hurt and puzzled more than anything else. Definitely more than feeling angry. What makes all of this super baffling is that inside every older person is a younger person. I look in the mirror and I don't see a 66-year-old guy. I see a 26-year-old dude. Of course, I am 26, in base 30. I know this sounds odd, but it's a healthy self-view, in fact. I'll talk about it in a future video. Older people don't think of themselves as older as they're going about their business. They're the same on the inside as they ever were. The takeaway is to remember that when age-related stuff happens, you may feel stunned and bewildered. That'll be normal. Today, there are many online venues for you to find others in the same situation or who have dealt with it in the past and exchange information. This can be an enormous asset. The social networks and forums facilitating information sharing range from meh to terrible. None of them are great in my opinion, and some of them out and out suck, but at least they exist. Yes, there will definitely be a quality problem with the information you find. You'll have to filter out the garbage to find the helpful opinions. The takeaway is you'll be in a better position if you search for information and connect with others who are or have been in the same situation. Even if there's no actionable data that comes through, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that you're not crazy is always a helpful thing. You know yourself and have a lifetime of work experience. Keep your core beliefs close and do not compromise on them. Maintain your integrity. Don't doubt your intuition on what's happening. Don't allow the company or a manager to gaslight you. Here's some of what I believe. I hold these truths to be self-evident. If you disagree with them, well, I look forward to your comments. Think about what you believe. Don't undermine your principles in order to stay at a job. On some things, there should never ever be compromise. Now, in 1 out of a billion occasions, legal action is worthwhile and effective. Movies can make it seem easy and quick. But this isn't true, and newsflash, it won't be true for you. You'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you've encountered age-related issues at work. But you won't be able to prove it. And even if you could prove it, the economics of legal action make taking legal action impossible in the vast majority of the time. The takeaway is the best revenge is holding your head up high, walking away, and living well. So there you have it, 9 truths about what happens to your career as you age. Till next time, take care.